Welcome back everyone, Mariah Monetize here. In today's video I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm having a new friend on the channel, actually a subscriber. It's how we met here in Puerto Rico. So he just installed a Helium hotspot for me. I'm going to be earning some HNT tokens. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, cool. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Absolutely. Hello everyone. My name is Yohance. I am from Los Angeles. I am technically a newbie still to crypto. I've been in crypto for about a year now. Actually, just hit a year yesterday. I bought my first cryptocurrency, which was Ethereum.
Nice.
And I now reside in Puerto Rico as a full-time trader investor in cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, so we recently met at a meetup that I did with some other subscribers that wanted to get together. So I'm going to be basically asking him questions today about the Helium hotspot that he installed in my house. And basically we're doing a little bit of a profit share here, and I just kind of wanted to learn more about it. I honestly would have probably said yes even if he didn't offer the 20%. So yeah, I'm just going to get into some questions so you can learn more about the Helium network, earning tokens, and Internet of Things and what it's about. So yeah, if you could just kind of start with describing the Internet of Things and how it works in the real world.
Absolutely. Well, we'll start here. What is Helium, right? Helium is their own blockchain, and they're simply a peer-to-peer network where it allows you to share data through the internet. And the Internet of Things is exactly how that's done. So the Internet of Things, which is IoT, that's what IoT stands for, that is a technology that's old but new. It's the emerging of using radio frequencies along with the blockchain, which we call lo-fi. And that's the technology that Helium is using to innovate the interconnected way we are as a society now. How do we get this information across, this space, the internet? Like, what is the internet, right? And so a lot of these things need to go further than what 5G can provide. And that's what the Internet of Things provides, that opportunity for us to be more efficient about our large data going further in a more efficient way.
Got it. So my first impression when I heard of Internet of Things was basically our devices throughout the house being connected to the internet, right?
Absolutely.
Like whether it's our coffee maker or our lights or our refrigerator. So is that accurate of
Yeah.
That's what this is kind of providing, that base for our devices and our things to connect all together?
Absolutely. So some of the popular devices that we would use is say Alexa, for example, or your smartwatch that you may have, the scooters outside. One of the cool things is Helium is actually partnered with Lime, which is a big scooter company. And so those types of things are important information that needs to be transferred, but are not efficient on the 5G. And as we know, 4G, 5G is not available in all areas. So with the Internet of Things allows that to connect. So, but it's actually more exciting because that's the basics. But the Internet of Things is used for a lot more things. Companies like LVMH, they actually use this technology to track their products, their bags, things are sold. Walmart, their China entity actually utilize that to track food and stuff like that. So the Internet of Things itself, the technology is something that's been revolutionized when it comes to tracking and transferring data in a more efficient way. And that's what we're about. That's what cryptocurrency is for me, is how do we become more efficient as a society?
Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, that definitely simplifies things, and I would say I even understand it more even after watching all the videos and the information that you've sent to me. So maybe you can talk a little bit about this HNT token that is part of the reward system with this hotspot that we have set up here.
Absolutely. So the cool thing is, check out this name. Helium says they're the people's network. And the idea behind it is giving us the access to the network to be able to provide coverage. As we know, the big companies, they are incentivized of creating networks in the most profitable areas. And it's the same thing here. But with the Helium miners, is what we call a hotspot, it allows the everyday person to get access to this revolutionary way of communicating. So specifically, how do you earn HNT? So you earn that HNT token by providing coverage. Now, by providing coverage is a small box, probably about this big. They come in different sizes, but these miners is what we call them. They connect to the internet. Now, when things happen, what we call like witnessing. So for example, if a Lime scooter, right? They you know, you want to use it and you go to connect to it, the information for that credit card and stuff needs to communicate to the system, right, to the internet. So what happens is, because you have one right here and I parked my scooter right over there, you're more than likely are going to communicate on your hotspot. And so by that communicating, connecting, it is allowing someone over here to be able to witness that challenge that just happened. And so every time these different things happen on the network that you're providing, you're going to get rewarded a certain amount of tokens. And so that is the exciting part about it, that it's not going to be always the same. Every day is going to be a little bit different, but it gives you, the everyday person, the opportunity to earn income passively without, you know, being a lot of energy or a lot of cost at hand.
Got it. That makes sense. And I'm slightly embarrassed to say that I didn't quite understand like how that works, but providing that value, the communication to speed it up, become more efficient, that's super valuable to Lime. And as we see more products come out that work in similar ways, I see how obviously massive this could be and how big it will expand in probably a very short period of time as well. So is this something that is built on the Ethereum network?
No, it's not. The cool thing is Helium is its own blockchain. And that's why it needs to, you get the HNT token, Helium token from them, is because it's its own network.
Got it. Okay, cool. So I know obviously like it varies on the hotspot that's set up and like the earning potential, but what can you expect with, I'm guessing there's like different size and different capacities of these hotspots. Like for example, this one, what are the expectations you could estimate for it?
Absolutely. So you have a Bobcat miner. Bobcat miner is one of the newer hotspots that actually has come to market. And the one with this one, the antenna is a lot stronger. So the original ones came with what they call like a very low 1.2 dBi. What it's really about is not necessarily the antenna or the box that you have. It's about the communication. So what that means is low RAN, or what we call radio frequencies, is actually very sensitive. So it goes far, but it can be easily disrupted by trees, buildings, and things like that. So a good, what we call line of sight, is most important when it comes to the Helium network specifically. So to earn the most Helium from your hotspot, we want to make sure that it's staying connected, has a good, strong connection to the internet. 2, that the line of sight is clear, so it's able to communicate to the nearby hotspots. And then 3, we want to make sure there's no other things that are delaying our communication, which is a common thing is called relay. And what relay means is that the hotspot is not connecting directly to the internet. It's connecting through other hotspots around. So what that means is it's going to slow down the communication to the network, to the blockchain, and you won't be able to earn as properly as you probably could. So simply right now, I would estimate that your hotspot overall in a 30-day period should earn anywhere between 50 to 100 HNT per month. With at the current price of $13 right now, roughly where we're keeping at, I mean, that's, 100, that's $1,300 a month,
Wow, it's like pretty shocking that I mean, when you first talked about it, I saw the value that it provides, but I didn't realize the value would translate
Yes.
to that much.
Yes.
Which is awesome because I think you mentioned the device was like $500 or $600.
Yes.
So I mean, it pays for itself rather quickly, which is cool.
Right, and that's why it's a no-brainer. So something like this, supply chain is a billions of dollar, $100 billion industry, right? So with this opportunity, Helium is providing a portion of a industry that's so large that we really can't fathom. I'm still trying to wrap my head around, fathom how large the supply chain management is, because who just thinks about that? Did you think about supply chain management? How do you do that? I didn't think about that until I start really understanding how this all comes together. So for example, the Helium network has grown from when I started to only 24,000 hotspots that were online. That was in March, early March. We just hit the other day 80,000 hotspots around the world.
That is massive growth.
That's a hockey stick. What we call that, to the moon, right?
Yeah.
So that's what the exciting part about it. So currently, right now, the amount of HNT that can be mined in a month is roughly around about 5 million. HNT the Helium network is really exciting because it's really for the people. And that's one thing why I was able to get behind it and why I'm working so hard to let my friends and family and those who are interested into something like this know about it, because it's really for the people. So they have turned the model of Helium into like Bitcoin merged with Ethereum. And what that means is that it has the utility of Ethereum, that it's its own blockchain. Things can be built on top of it. So if I want to start my own scooter company or a smartwatch company, I can build that company and that technology on the Helium blockchain. So we can do it on our own. But the scarcity of Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin, as we know, is only a certain amount of them, only going to be 21 million, I believe?
Yes.
21 million ever, right? And every 4 years, roughly every 4 years, this is the estimated time, that it will do a halving where the supply is cut in half. Well, Helium will be doing that as well. It's going to do its first halving in August 1st, which is the first one it's ever going to do. So we don't know how that's going to, affect the price, but each token now is going to go from, potentially can go up or down, right? But we know with utility projects tend to do much better in bear markets because there's actual use case of it. But with the speculation of just it's only being so many of them available, it's just simple supply and demand.
Yeah.
But there's more. There's more. I would add in a Cardano perspective as well. Helium yesterday just opened up validators. So now you can now stake your Helium tokens to earn more passive income.
Wow.
So it's a triple threat. You have an opportunity to earn Helium tokens by just investing into the actual miner. Then you also can get capital gains by just the simple speculation of the value going up and down. And now you can take that and stake it with a pool and now earn a annual interest rate of, who knows, 5, 10, 15%,
Yeah.
who knows.
Excellent. Wow, it sounds like all of the great elements of a lot of different projects just came together as one. So does the halving also happen every 4 years like Bitcoin, or is the schedule a little bit different?
It's every 2 years.
Every 2 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's exciting because we always see typically after the Bitcoin halving, typically about a year later, the price action goes up, or percentage-wise, significantly. So that's exciting, the 2-year dynamic, to see how that over the history of that and how it compares to Bitcoins.
Yeah.
Very cool. So can a Helium miner replace my internet?
Oh, that's a great question. No, it cannot, because it's its own blockchain. So what has to happen is you need the internet to connect to be able to transfer the data.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess I didn't quite know the answer to that question, to be honest. It was on my list of things to ask. But so just to kind of give you guys a process, when Yohance set this up the other day, it was super, super simple. Well, I mean, there was some behind the scenes things that he took care of. I guess it was simple for me to just watch. But I mean, it's a small device. It doesn't take up a lot of space. It seemed like fairly easy to set up. You know, a little bit of a learning curve for like the extra things you had to do with like the router and stuff. But overall, like a pretty simple process. And you said it also doesn't take up much energy as well, right?
Oh, yeah, we didn't say, speak of that. Like,
Yeah.
how much does it cost to get started? So there's two ways. If you want to own your own miner, the price is roughly around between $400 to $600 per miner, depending on which company you go with. Now, the running cost, the expenses of on a month-to-month basis, it uses about, on average, 5 watts, so 5 kilowatts. So which, if you look at the average amount of use of energy, that's about 75 cents. I think it's like 13 cents per kilowatt or something. So it's like 75 cents to $1 per month that you will see increased on your bill, right? Wow.
Not even noticeable.
Right, not even noticeable. And then when it comes to the amount of data with a very active hotspot, you're looking at maybe one Netflix movie streaming of data, maybe
Okay.
an hour and 40 to 2 hour
Okay.
movie, right?
Yeah.
And that's on a hotspot that's in a very big central location that's really active and really moving. So you're looking at roughly maybe $1.50 to $2 a month on ongoing costs, and a one-time cost of about, like I said, between $400 to $600 on actually getting the actual miner.
Got it. Cool. So is your goal here in Puerto Rico to kind of like, I don't know if there's a lot of other people doing the same thing. Are you kind of just like trying to front run it, put out as many as you can? Because I know there's also like, they're on back order and they're kind of hard to
Yes.
find right now.
So speaking of that, right? So what we have done is open up the opportunity for those who were able to front run and be able to order more. Like I said, I will order a few of them, and I have them coming in as we speak. Is that my goal here in Puerto Rico is simply to be efficient. What I would like to do is make the network here more efficient. So what's happening is, and the CEO of Helium have talked about this, is that if you notice when it comes to the big telecom companies, they're very specific on how they place their hotspots. Well, with us being noobs to this business and not understanding telecommunication and distance and stuff like that, hotspots are being placed in non-efficient places because it's just your house and you plug it up. Well, I think if we do what we're doing with you, where we're doing a profit share, I took all the risks by buying it and setting it up, and then I'm sharing with you because you have a good location. That makes it a people's network, a community network, where I have something, you have a location, we come together, and it just makes it easier. So there are programs that companies that have solved this, that have the upfront capital, and they have been purchasing them where they do a profit share. So it's a month to month or a year, they'll pay you up front. There's different models to it, but the most common one is the one we're doing.
Nice, very cool. So to kind of give you guys an idea of like the behind the scenes of how it works. So when it was set up, I downloaded an app. Basically, I connect to this particular hotspot, and I'm able to, once like the whole blockchain and everything's downloaded, I'm able to actually see the earnings on it. So yeah, just a whole like transparent situation. And then once the month is over, then I already sent him my address, and then he sends over the HNT, which I currently don't own any HNT. Can you also just buy it on exchanges?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
cool.
So where you can find it now is Binance.us. So Binance.us is where I kind of buy and sell my HNT, and there's a few that you can. But just to kind of explain a little bit more of what we're talking about behind the scenes. So specifically is that Helium has their own app, and the app is your own wallet as well. So what everyone who's going to be involved needs to download this app, so you can hold your HNT there. And what we did is because she doesn't own it, I own it, so that this miner is connected to me, so all rewards come to me. And what we will do at the end of the month, because we both, once it starts earning, we can easily keep track on how much was earned in what time period. So it's not like, you know, crazy to think like, oh, you getting more and not you. And so we just put it to where we can follow any miner on the blockchain. And so it makes it really easy to just keep transparency and just to know what's going on. So I've done where I've found different ones that I've been looked to find out what they were doing to earn so much more versus me. And it was always about location.
Ah, okay.
Height. So at some point when I figure this out, I want to get an antenna and run it up to the roof, because the higher you are, the better connected. And one thing to know, I have to say, is when it comes to the Helium network, is that you have to be within 350 meters away. Now, 350 meters away is probably about 2 or 3 blocks here, right? Okay. And reason why is because it works off a hexagon platform, kind of like Uber and stuff like that, kind of pioneered this type of technology, is that you create this dome. And by creating the dome, it allows you to be in what they call the sweet spot, so you can effectively communicate with the other hotspots. So every antenna may not be as great for that, because it just depends on your location. So what I plan to do is help educate the community here in San Juan, and help with this hosting and profit sharing program, and to build that out. So not even just for me, but just for everyone, so we can all earn more and earn more efficiently.
Excellent, cool. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I actually learned a lot. A lot of these questions that I asked, I actually didn't know the answer to, so I wasn't pretending like they were just questions. But I would love to hear from you guys. Do you like this style of content with having someone else, you know, share their perspective, share their experience? You know, this is something I didn't know a lot about Helium before, but now that I have this cool little hotspot in my house, I thought it'd be fun to share it with you guys. So thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. I was like, well, yeah, sure, you can set it up. You wanted to film a video too, and you're so willing to do that, so I appreciate it. But yeah, so Yohance and his girlfriend Jade actually have a YouTube channel. So if you want to go ahead and give, like, you know, Instagram, YouTube, share with the people how they could find you.
Absolutely. So we have our YouTube channel called Get in the Black. And what this is about is we're going to be talking about how do you become the best version of yourself. And that's through your health, that's through travel. How do you have the best travel? And how do you financially literally get in the black? So you get to watch our journey, going from being in the red and getting into the black. And that's what we're about. So you can find our YouTube channel called Get in the Black, or you can follow me at Yohance's Adventure, Yohance's_adventures, and Jade is unapologetically Jade.
Cool, yeah, and I'll go ahead and link all of that down below as well, so it's easy for you guys to find them. Awesome, well, again, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and like I said, I would love some feedback. So that is all I have for you today. As always, go out there and create a portfolio that you love.